It's time for our community spotlight. And today, Nancy Beals is joining me. She's with the Union County Drug-Free Coalition. Hello, Nancy.
Hello, Angie. Nice to see you today.
We are talking about the important things that are happening this October that help parents, especially, to know what's going on with their kids and how drugs are all around. So let's just start at the top. How can we educate parents on what's going on?
Well, the Drug-Free Coalition has a couple of tools available for parents. We have a special website, uc-talks.com, and that website is full of tips and information for parents, not only about drug and alcohol prevention, but also about mental health, building strong kids, and suicide prevention.
Oh, wow. So that's really a great place for parents to go, because I think that they don't, because I was a parent with kids in high school, we don't necessarily know what our kids are being exposed to when they're at school, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And what I hear from young people is vaping is still a very, very present issue. Particular bathrooms are full of vape clouds or whatever, and kids learn to kind of avoid and pick and choose which restrooms they go to. So unfortunately, vaping continues to be a big thing. So I think that's one of those things that parents aren't completely aware of. I know when vaping first came out, it kind of got advertised on social media. And so, parents maybe weren't as exposed to the advertisement that their kids were.
Right.
And I think that continues to be the case. And so want to kind of make sure parents are aware of that. And I think parents, whereas vaping might be a reasonable alternative to a lifelong smoker, it would be a step down and a somewhat improvement for a young person. Anytime you're taking chemicals into your lungs, that's a dangerous thing to do. And the chemicals, the preservative for the nicotine, the flavorings that they add, and as well as the nicotine itself, we don't have long-term studies as to the impact of those chemicals, and we just know that it's not going to be a good outcome, right?
Yeah. And like I said, our kids are being exposed to stuff that we don't have any clue about. And how do we start the conversation? Is that something that's a resource from you guys as well?
We've got some conversation starters on that website, but we encourage parents to, if you're driving in your car back and forth somewhere, and there's something in the news, or if you hear some conversation that the kids are having, ask them about it and kind of engage them. What do you think about that? And, why do you think that these tobacco products are being sold with the flavors of bubble gum and canned cotton candy and strawberry ice and whatever? Who do you think they're trying to target with their advertising?
Yeah. That's what you were saying about social media. I mean, that's obviously they're targeting straight to the kids and bypassing the parents.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And of course, alcohol continues to be a concern as well. We know from our Union County data that 1 in 5 of our kids has used alcohol in the last month. So parents need to be talking to their kids about that and being aware of their own alcohol supply. If they have beer or beverages, in their own home, they need to keep track of that stuff and keep it protected, and, talk to their kids about, the safe and appropriate use and what their expectations are. That, we all know that it's far best to wait till you're 21 or older to start drinking, because the brain is still developing. And when we start using these drugs of abuse in the teenage years, we know that we can trigger an addiction issue.
Wow. And I know we're having this conversation mostly because it's Drug Awareness Prevention Month. And how can we help you guys in doing what you do? I mean, we as parents, or we as just the community, help you with what you do?
Well, the parents are still the strongest voice in a young person's life. And so you we really encourage parents to be having those conversations. And, just like how frequently you have to ask your child to clean up their room, to take the trash out, to whatever, you need to have an ongoing conversation about alcohol and tobacco and marijuana and various drugs of abuse. We're getting ready to launch a series of 3 short videos. It's come to our attention that some of our athletes are at particular risk for heavy use of over-the-counter medications.
Oh,
So
wow.
Advil and ibuprofen and Tylenol. And young people don't necessarily know that you have to limit the number of Tylenol you take in a day's time, and you can only take so many Advil. And so that's information that parents need to be talking with their kids about. Caffeine, they were having trouble with kids having muscle cramps on the athletic field. And of course, they're drinking all these energy drinks.
Oh, wow.
Well, that dehydrates you. And so then it caused all this cramping. And so that's one of the topics that we're going to cover, and the importance of using the Gatorade and those kind of drinks that kind of replenish your electrolytes. And good old-fashioned water, of course, is the best, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So tell me what you're doing with the kids. Do you have kids that are stepping up and being leaders in this?
Absolutely. The Drug Free Coalition has a new group. It's the Teen Prevention Leadership Academy. And so this year we have 6 young people, 3 from the STEM school here in Marysville and 3 from the Marysville High School. And they have taken on the task of helping to get the message out to their peers. And so this week, actually, Thursday and Friday, they're going to have big drug-free banners during lunch period, and are going to invite their students, fellow students, to sign that and to take a drug-free pledge, and to pledge to be a support to their peers and your friends. That this is the values that we as a student body embrace, and that's to live a drug-free life. So that's happening this week, and then those banners will be displayed during Red Ribbon Week, which is the last week of the month, October 23rd through the 31st. And in fact, Angie, we've got businesses and participants all over town that are going to have those banners up. So the libraries, both here in Marysville and up in Richwood, will have a big banner up. All 3 school systems will have the banners. And Richwood Bank is also supporting and going to be putting banners in the county courthouse and the city. So
tell me what Red Ribbon Week really is. What is it about, and how do we celebrate it?
Well, Red Ribbon Week dates back to 1986. Actually, in 85, there was a DEA agent that was very brutally killed as he was trying to eradicate drugs from coming over the border. And in honor of him, Red Ribbon Week began in 85. And so it's just a chance to recognize the importance of this topic. Obviously, if there isn't demand for drugs, then there won't be a supply, and they won't be so much coming in from across the borders and coming in from China. And then the stuff comes in from everywhere, and some of it's being grown in our own backyard. So so if we can cut down on the supply, then DEA agents won't have to be out in the line of duty and kind of be in that danger zone. So Red Ribbon Week is a way to nationally address this issue. With the opioid drug overdoses, and we've lost about 700,000 Americans to to heroin and opiate overdoses. So drug use continues to be a problem. And the Red Ribbon Week helps to draw attention to that and gets people out talking about it, right? So, we've kind of learned that that's a good way to capture people's attention and to focus on it every year, because this is not something that's going to go away.
No, that's true. Unfortunately, that is true. And so I love this uc-talks.com. It's a great resource for parents for all things that our kids are exposed to, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Let's talk about the Drug Take Back Day, because this is something that happens, twice a year nationally, right?
That's correct. That's correct. So it happens every year in April and in October. This month, it'll be on October the 23rd from 10 to 2 p.m. I know the Richwood Police Department is doing a take back. Plain City, it's the fire station. Here in Marysville, we've got 2 locations. The sheriff's office right there behind the courthouse, and then Marysville Police will have a vehicle stationed at Walgreens, and we'll take drugs back there at Walgreens. And it's on a Saturday, the 23rd, from 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. Now, and that's, sometimes we all need this motivation to gather up our stuff and take it out there. But all of those locations do have a drug take back box that's available 24/7. So if you miss that date, or if you've got it in your car now, go ahead and get rid of it. It's a great time to clean up your medicine cabinet. And I know last year we had reached the 1 ton. We had taken over 2,000 pounds of drugs in Union County in the last 10 years.
Wow. Okay. So the question is, why not just flush them? Everybody says we can just flush them. Why not?
Well, it's not good for your water supply. So, as we were testing the water, people were discovering all these different drug elements were showing up in the water supply. And so we really prefer that people bring them in and drop them off, and they actually get incinerated.
That was what the thing that people always did, was they just, flushed it down the toilet. But yeah, it's got to go somewhere. And if everybody is flushing something, the other thing that I think is important that people don't realize is that when you're given a prescription, you can look at that prescription and you can get less than what it says. I just had surgery not too long ago, and they wanted to give me a 30-day supply. And I said, there is no way I am going to do a 30-day supply. Give me 5 or 10, and I will go from there. And then I just called and said, I need another 5. I just got 5 in the first place. I ended up having to have 10 because it was a really painful surgery. But I think that's something that we don't realize that we have as an option. Just because it's prescribed to you doesn't mean you have to get it all. Because people are like, they don't want to lose money to throw it away. Well, it's not good to keep it around.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's an excellent point, that you can just, get a smaller dose delivered than what's prescribed. The other thing with the pain pills is a lot of times they tell you, 1 or 2 pills every 4 to 6 hours. We encourage people to take the minimum amount that keeps you comfortable, because, that we know that narcotic pain relievers are so addicting. And so you want to use that with caution.
I never really got any relief from pain. I just didn't care anymore on painkillers. So I said, okay, I don't need this. The other thing I want to make sure that we bring to people's attention is, why is it not good to have it just in the house? So I have, a bottle, let's say, and it's in my medicine cabinet, and I just haven't gotten around to doing the take back yet. Why is it important not to leave it there?
Well, in the height of the opiate epidemic, if you will, we discovered that people were, visiting friends and relatives and neighbors and going through their medicine cabinet and taking pills. And so if you have a teenage son or daughter or niece or nephew or grandchild coming to your house, you just want to get it out of there. The other thing is this stuff all expires. And so why not clean it out anyway? And, the other thing that I think a lot of us do out of kindness, but really isn't a smart thing to do is, we hear of a friend who is experiencing pain and they say, oh, I've got this great stuff in my medicine cabinet.
Yeah.
No, you can't do that.
You're not a doctor. You cannot do that.
Right. So, if they're in pain, get them to a healthcare professional.
I mean, I would hate to do that. And then something happened to that person because of a reaction or whatever. I mean, it's serious stuff. I know a lot of us are like, yeah, but it's really true. It's really important that we do take these drugs to the take back, and it's happening everywhere. It's not just in Union County, but October 23rd is the date. So make sure that you're making plans. And like you said, that drop box is available all the time at Walgreens and at the sheriff's department, right?
But the sheriff's, at the police department has one. I think all of our police departments in our county have them.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay,
Yeah.
so how do people get involved with the Union County Drug Free Coalition if they're interested? Or how do we find more information about what you do?
Well, we have a website, ucdrugfree.org. I encourage people to call or email me. My email address is Nancy, Nancy, at mhrbuc.org. And yeah, we love to have volunteers. There are a lot of projects that we try to do across town. We are pretty active with podcasting ourselves. So we've got a lot of our community experts that we bring in and we talk about various topics. Right now with doing the Red Ribbon Week and having banners up, so we always need volunteers to hand out materials to parents and at health fairs. And we also advocate and try to make sure that our community is as safe as possible. And so, public policy and, watching what's happening at the State House, what kind of legislation is coming down the pike, and kind of encourage people to make their concerns and their voice known relative to those topics as well.
Yeah, good stuff. Thank you, Nancy, so much for taking the time today to talk with me.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate this time, Angie, and you have a great program.